In Springfield, State Attorney General Andrea Campbell led a community conversation surrounding the protection of LGBTQ+ rights this afternoon. The Equality for All community conversation was held at the Blake Law Center at Western New England University and focused on ongoing initiatives. We caught up with the Attorney General, and she tells Western Mass News that she's working to protect communities who feel their rights are currently at risk.
I remind my team every day that we will do everything in our power to protect the rights of folks in our LGBTQ+ community, including our trans community. But in addition to that, put out guidance so folks know what their rights are in this moment in time, remind them they are protected here in Massachusetts. Even if the federal government seeks to walk away from these rights, we have strong protections here in Massachusetts. And on top of that, the president does not have any authority through a Sharpie or an executive order to wipe out federal civil rights protections and other protections that still exist, that are still on the books.
Attorney General Campbell also hosted a roundtable discussion at Bay State Franklin Medical Center in Greenfield today, where she heard from individuals and organizations about the challenges they face in delivering substance use services in rural communities.